Hi, my name is Michelle Metzner, and today we're going to talk a little bit about understanding by design. We're going to talk about what understanding by design is. We're going to talk about the understanding by design template and how to use it for stage one. And we're going to talk about how to use the UbD stage one template to identify your course and unit information, the professional standards by which you will build your unit's transfer goals, your unit's meaning goals, and your unit's understanding goals. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is understanding by design? Understanding by design is an educational planning approach that uses backward design to structure classes. In backward design, course designers examine the learning outcomes for a course first and then work backward to create the appropriate units, assessments, and activities for the course. The goal of understanding by design, also known as UbD, is for students to achieve understanding of the material, not just picking up skills or knowledge of facts. Okay, so we're looking for a deep understanding here. In order to help you as a designer structure your classes well, the creators of UbD have come up with a template, okay, for you to use. So we're going to look at stage one here. In stage one of UbD, the designer's goal is to identify the desired results of the course and unit being created. Okay, the template that we're going to look at in just a minute here walks designers through the process of this first stage of the UbD process. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started looking at the template. So once again, stage one is all about the desired results, okay, for your unit. In the course and unit summary section, this has three subsections. The first subsection is the course subsection. In the left column, you'll notice that it asks you to fill in a bunch of information regarding your subject or discipline, your class name and number, your class time frame, grade level, keywords, district, university, or organization that you're working in, your school, department, or corporation that you're working in. Under the type of school or organization, it gives you several options in checkboxes that you can use. So, are you working in a public, private, or charter school? Are you in a corporation, a training company, or some other entity? This section or subsection also asks you for information about your textbook for your class and links to online resource material that you can enter there. In the unit subsection, the information in the left column asks you for information regarding your unit title, unit time frame, where the unit fits into the class, and then information about your unit delivery. Okay, so is it a face-to-face class? Is it blended? You might know this better as hybrid. Okay, is it an online class? Is it some other delivery method that you're using? And in the course design subsection, the information in the left column asks you why you're developing the course, and again, you have several checkboxes there. Is it a course project? Do you plan to teach the course? Are you part of a team developing the course? Is there some other reason that you're developing it? You're also asked about the time frame to teach it, and you're asked about your level of expertise. And here you would check all that apply. So are you the subject matter expert? Are you a future instructor of the course? Are you the course designer? Or are you all three of those, or just a couple of them? Next is the unit summary section. And this section just provides a unit overview. So you want to give an overview of the unit in your own words, and you want to do this in as simple words as possible so that everyone can understand what you're talking about. This section also asks you for a revised inspirational big idea. Now, this is revised because if you remember from the stage 0 part of the template, you most likely included a big idea there. and you may have been asked to revise that. And if you were asked to revise that, then this is where you would put that revised big idea. Okay. If you are making no changes to it, still just put the big idea right here. Just copy and paste it from stage 0. The next section is the professional organizations for content section. In this section, you're going to list all professional organizations that would have competencies, standards, or requirements for the course. For example, I teach college level writing in an English department, and so the governing bodies for my specialty are NCTE, which is the National Council of Teachers of English, and 4Cs. And so I would put their names here. I would put the URLs to each of their organizations here. And if I can find them, and I think I can, I would put the URLs to each of the organization's competencies in box 3 for each of them right here. In this next section, the standards and or competencies section, this is where I would take those standards and competencies from the organizations in the previous sections, and this is where I would list those. In the left-hand column, I would put the codes as they're listed on the organization's websites, and then in the right column, I would name what the codes are or what the standards or competencies are. So each standard or competency needs to have a corresponding code. The next section is the transfer section. This section basically answers what the student needs to be able to do in the future in an environment that is different from the classroom without support of the instructor. So this could be in another class or perhaps later on in their careers. This section has 3 different columns. It's got in the left the transferred code that you would put in. So the transfer code is, you would just write T and then 1, T2, T3. And then in the center column, this is where you tell what kinds of long-term independent accomplishments are desired. And you would basically structure this by saying students will be able to use their learning independently too, and then you fill in the blank. Okay. In the right-hand column, this is where you list the competency codes from the previous section. Okay, from the standards and competencies section. So whatever competency code corresponds to that transfer skill, that's where you put that. The next section is the meaning section, and the meaning section is broken down into 2 subsections, essential questions and understandings. In the essential questions subsection, this is where you put whatever thought-provoking questions that will foster inquiry, meaning making, and transfer, and you put these in the form of a question. And again, this is laid out in a 3-column format. In the left column, you put the essential question code. So this is going to be listed as Q1, Q2, Q3, etc. In the center, this is where you put your essential question. Again, this is going to be thought-provoking, and it will foster inquiry, meaning making, and transfer. And then again, in the right column, this is where you put the competency code that corresponds to your essential question. And the competency codes, once again, are coming from that standards and competencies section from earlier. The understandings subsection of the meaning section is asking you what specifically you want students to understand and what inferences should they make. Okay, so you will put these in the form of a statement structured like this. Students will understand that, and then you fill in the blank. Again, this is a 3-column structure. In the left column, you do the understandings code, and this will be written as U1, U2, U3, etc. In the center column, this is where you put your understanding statement, and it's structured like students will understand that, and then fill in the blank. And then in the right column, this is where you put your competency code from the standard and competency section. And whatever corresponds to your understanding, you put that code there. And our final section is the acquisition section. And in the acquisition section, this is where you will discuss the knowledge and skills that you want your students to gain from the unit. So in the first subsection, this is the knowledge subsection. So what facts and basic concepts should students know and be able to recall? You will structure this as a statement. Following the template, students will know and then fill in the blank. Again, it's a 3-column structure. In the left column, you will put the knowledge code and structure it as K1, K2, K3, etc. In the center, this is where you put your knowledge goals here, so students will know, and then fill in the blank. And then again, in the right column, this is where you put the corresponding competency code from the standards and competencies section. And then finally, there is the skills subsection, and this discusses which discrete skills and processes students should be able to use. And again, you will structure this as a statement. Students will be skilled at, and then fill in the blanks. Once again, this is a 3-column structure. In the left column, you put the skills code. This is written as S1, S2, S3, etc. In the center, you put your skills statement. This is written as students will be skilled at, and then fill in the blank. And then in the right column, you put your competency codes from the standards and competencies section. Okay, so that finishes up our discussion of the Stage 1 template for understanding by design. I appreciate your time. Once again, my name is Michelle Metzner. If you have any questions, please email me at michelle.metzner@right.edu, and I'll do my best to answer whatever your questions are. Have a great day.